we're going to get into this, but it's not right or wrong what platforms you use, if any. It's really your audience and your passions, your interests, your goals. These are really a lot of things that should motivate. I primarily use 4 mediums right now. I use Twitter. We're going to talk about that. I use Instagram, have a YouTube channel, and use TikTok. Those 4 I've chosen for different reasons and different audiences, and we'll get into that. Okay. So before we start, here's a question for you. Oh, and by the way, I guess one point I did want to make is, although it's harder than it was to build a platform if you started 2, 5, 10 years ago, it's never too late. It's never too late. In college, I went to see, how many of you remember the name Dawson McAllister? Remember Dawson McAllister? You do. Dawson McAllister, big youth speaker in the 80s and 90s, had covered conferences all around the country. So the 3 Macs who went to Talbot, Dawson McAllister, John MacArthur, and McDowell, around the same time went to Talbot. MacArthur did his thing, my dad did his thing. McAllister was one of the most recognizable youth speakers for a couple of decades, very evangelistic. And I went to hear him speak in college. I didn't even know if I wanted to be a speaker at this stage. We went backstage and he gave me this big speech. He goes, "You know what, son?" He goes, "There's always room at the top." And in my mind, I'm like, I don't even know what that means or if I want to be at the top. Like, it was an interesting, like, pump up moment, but that stuck with me. Like, and he said, basically, if you do something well and you meet a need, there's always room for excellence. So YouTube channels, it's more saturated than it was 2 years ago, 5 years ago. Podcasts, way more saturated. Twitter, there's more people, for sure. But if you have a unique angle, you bring excellence, there's always room for voices that bring quality. There always is room. There's no question about that. So here's a question, just for fun to get us going a little bit, is, would Jesus use social media? Now, the reason I frame it this way is because so many times we approach social media and we don't realize the worldview commitments that we bring are shaped more by certain metrics and values of the world in which we live rather than a biblical Christian metric.
Biola University prepares Christians to think biblically about everything, from science to business to education and the arts. Learn more at biola.edu.